Your intuitive nudges are coming back, and they're here to stay. It's so obvious that my talents are unrecognizable in my current state of being. It's recognizable to me, but it's hard to see from the outside. But at this moment in time, that's exactly what's needed. I need to be the one to see it within myself, and that needs to be enough for now. Everything else will fall into place because I trust in the timing of my life. I've faced so much pressure that time's running out, when really time is just an illusion. And yes, we could talk about how we all run on this illusion and we all are within the matrix of this illusion. But knowing that it's part of an illusion makes it have less of like a control over my idea of who I am. A lot of people who reside in strictly matrix ideas of reality may look at how I view reality and call it delusion. And that's fair. I'll be delusional in your story if that's what's necessary. I actually invite the balance of reality and delusion into my life because too much in either direction is uncomfortable for me. So I embrace both. And embracing both puts you in a position where people on either side might have something against you. And it's not specifically against you, it's just more against their own idea of the world. Because if you're in a world where reality is the most important, seeing the physical is the most important, and you forget about the spiritual, energetic work that must be done, you would see somebody who indulges in their spiritual aspects as evil, delusional, just living outside of your idea of reality. And that's disruptive. That is a threat to your own beliefs. But I thank God every day that my beliefs were threatened and that I was able to expand my idea of what the world is, because I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to invite energy of the divine into my life more. The divine is non-physical. It is spirit. It is outside of this 3D realm. And I choose to work with those energies. I choose to embrace those energies and allow them to lead me because they see what I cannot. They know what I can only imagine. And I'm just grateful that my imagination is this vivid to the point where I can imagine a new way of being, one where my reality is not dependent only on the physical realm. This is not typical, this is not small talk. If you wonder why small talk is uncomfortable when you believe in a realm outside of this one, it's because it feels limiting. And I'm not saying it is limiting, I'm just saying that's how I feel. In the same way how someone in the physical realm would see silence as limiting rather than expansion. Because when you're trying to access a realm that does not exist in your, you can't perceive its existence through reality, you can only feel. When you can only feel it, you must sit in silence and in darkness. You must feel the nothingness, the void. You must sit in that void and listen to it. What is it trying to tell me? What is the silence saying? But we just love to fill the silence. We don't want to hear what it has to say. We want to keep going. We want to pretend that the silence is awkward, that it's undesirable. We don't want to understand the silence. We don't take the time to really sit with it and be like, we don't take the time to breathe it in and breathe it out. The silence helps us release the burden. And if you think you don't have a burden to release, but you've never taken the time to sit with the silence and ask it, what do I need? What do you need to tell me? I don't know. I don't know the answers. I just know that I've sat with the silence and I've sat with the darkness and I've looked into the void and I've come out the other end. And I feel like after coming out the other end, I want to go back and I want to do it all over again. I want to look at it. I want to sit in the silence and the darkness. I want to feel the full range and spectrum of human emotion, including what we label as bad and evil. Because I am not one-dimensional. I am not good. I'm pure. Pure is associated with clean. That is not pure. Pure, to me, is genuine. It's it's light. It's finding light within the darkness. You have to be in the darkness to find light. Light cannot exist without the darkness. You would not see light unless it was dark. And that's what we forget. We forget that darkness was here before the light. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. We just want to forget that it even existed. We're like, oh, that dark shit. Nah. So when somebody comes into your life that reminds you of the darkness, we want to forget about that person. We want to write that person off. We want to say that person needs to cheer up. They need to get some light in their life. Not knowing. Not knowing. Not knowing that the brightest lights burn in the darkest nights.